Shannon, founder and executive director of Seva Health and the Seva Institute, where we put mindfulness and compassion in action to help you live longer and live better. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I end every newsletter, every podcast, every YouTube video, every lecture, and every interaction in my clinical practice with one little simple piece of advice. Be well, be good to yourself, and never, ever, ever, ever be afraid to be amazing. I want to tell you the story of where that comes from and just take a couple of minutes out of your day to share this. When I was working in the ICU over 20 years ago here in Baltimore, I dreamed of a cozy little practice like Seva Health. You see, I was working 12-hour shifts that would often turn into 16-hour shifts. We were saving lives every night. I was also raising young children at the time, and I dreamed of a cozy little practice like Seva Health where I'd get to do all of the things that I was so deeply passionate about, all of the things that I knew could keep people out of the ICU in the first place. Things like nutrition, things like functional medicine, things like mindfulness and meditation practice, and all of the things that I knew were rooted in the prevention that I learned when I was growing up. You see, in my household growing up, an ounce of prevention is a pound of cure was the mantra that my mother had. And so I wanted to share that with others in a meaningful way. And I dreamed of a little practice like Seva Health that would allow me to work normal hours and see my own patients and teach them how to stay well and prevent disease and prevent chronic illness. But I had no mentor. I had no one who was already doing that. I had no one who could tell me how to build something like that. And back then, 20, 25 years ago, there were no nurse practitioners in my state of Maryland who were working independently doing those things. And so the little voices, the little saboteur voices and the inner critic would say, "How silly, Angel. You really think you can do something like that? You've never owned a business. You don't know anything about owning a clinical practice. Where would you even market yourself? And who would pay you to do that? And how would you get the insurances? And plus the fact you're not even a nurse practitioner in the first place." So I had a lot of self-sabotage to overcome to get to my dream that sat on my vision board. And every time I'd hear those voices get louder and louder and louder, something would happen inside my heart. Something would tempt me to say, "Try it, Angel. See what happens. What if you could actually pull this off?" And so I started to pay attention to that little voice. I got online and I found an RN to BSN completion program at Penn State that I could do in 2 years. I also found a nurse practitioner program at University of Maryland in downtown Baltimore. And I said, wow, 4 years, what could happen in my life if I just dig in and spend the next 4 years pursuing my dream? And then that voice would come up again. "Oh, you can't do that. You've got 2 kids. You can't do that. You'd have to take out student loans. You can't do that." So you see, there'd be this battle all the time. But after a while, I said, you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to dare myself to dream bigger. I'm going to dare myself to dream bolder. I'm going to dare myself to dream better. And that's what I did. And I started pursuing my dream. And I said to myself, who do I want to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now? I wanted to be what was on my vision board, the owner of a Seva Health, the owner of a cozy little clinical practice where I get to do all of the things I love to do, and that is to help people live longer and live better. And I started working on silencing those voices in my head that would tell me what I couldn't do. And what came up one day was, Angel, the only way you're going to make this dream come true is you have got to be good to yourself. Because what does it matter when everyone else is believing in you, but you don't believe in yourself? What does it matter when everyone else says that your dream is possible, but you don't believe your dream is possible for yourself? What does it matter? You matter. What you believe matters. And what you believe and what you say to yourself every single day, not just once in a while when times are good, But what you say to yourself every single day is what matters. So that became my mantra. Angel, be good to yourself. Every time those little voices on my little shoulder would try to tell me that I couldn't, I told myself that I could. Every time those little voices said, you know what, Angel, wrap it up, stay in the ICU, this is what you do best, I would say, you be good to yourself, you keep going. It became my mantra, not only getting through my undergraduate RN to BSN program, but also in my graduate school program for getting through a quite rigorous program at the University of Maryland School of Nursing. And it became my mantra for building Seva Health from the ground up, brick by brick, stone by stone, with no blueprint, no mentor, no architectural rendering, no idea how I would get through the insurances, no idea how I would market myself, but just being willing to dare myself, being willing to see what would happen if I really went in pursuit of my dreams. Being good to myself became the foundation of everything that I believe and everything that I do at Seva Health. It became my product line. And this Be Good to Yourself mug that I designed for myself and then offered to all of my patients and coaching clients just became what I say at the end of every single interaction, just to remind you of the power in believing in yourself and being good to yourself, and never, ever, ever being afraid to be amazing. Because it is quite amazing to live your dreams. It is quite amazing to follow your passions. It is quite amazing to believe that you deserve the life that you desire. That is amazing. And I don't want you to ever, ever, ever be afraid to be amazing. So if you are in need of a daily reminder to be good to yourself in your words, in your language, in your interactions with yourself, in your belief systems, I invite you to treat yourself to the Be Good to Yourself product line. We've got our beautiful signature mug. We've got our delicious herbal teas. We've got a wonderful pen and journal set for your journal practice. And we've even got a really lovely meditation cushion to help you remember the power in being good to yourself every single day with that simple and gentle, self-compassionate reminder. Okay? So I hope that little story inspires you, and I hope it motivates you to keep a little reminder handy for yourself every single day. Whenever those self-sabotaging voices try to creep in and tell you what you can't do, you have that wise voice within that arises up and says, and reminds you of what you can do, okay? With that, I will tell you to be well, be good to yourself, never, ever, ever be afraid to be amazing, and get your Be Good to Yourself merchandise on my website at sevahealthgroup.com. I'll leave a link down in the show notes for you to click on and treat yourself. And treat someone you love to that reminder too, because I think that the more we spread this good reminder to be good to ourselves, the more capable we are of being good to others. Okay, so let's spread that good love around the world, and let's make it a movement. Let's make Be Good to Yourself a movement worldwide. Take good care, be well, and be good to yourself. And never, ever, ever be afraid to be amazing. Bye-bye.